Welcome, everybody, to Facts at 5. My name is Michael Clark. This is where we bring you locally focused, fresh, and validated information. And almost makes it sound like food talk, if you think about it.
Fresh,
right?
validated.
Yes. We bring this to you every Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock. And right now, the focus is going to be on the obvious. But who knows where it's going to go? Do you know, Morgan? I
have no idea.
We have no idea where it's going to go. All we know is that this is going to be an ongoing, local, casual approach to the news. And we'll be taking a break from politics, which is also a good thing, don't you think?
Fine with me.
All right, so this is my counterpart, Morgan Vaughn. Morgan, say hello.
Hello.
And why don't
That's the
you?
last time I'll listen to anything you say.
Oh, that's unusual. And so why don't you kick it off with some of the local obvious coronavirus things that we're doing?
All right, great. Well, the town of East Hampton issued a press release today. The East Hampton Town Board meeting scheduled for Thursday, March 19th. The East Hampton Town Board meeting scheduled for Thursday, March 19th has been canceled. Meetings of the Architectural Review Board, the Zoning Board of Appeals, and the Planning Board have also been canceled. These are town meetings. If a board action is needed within a legally binding timeline, the board may be met by teleconference, which will be covered by LTV. Town of East Hampton buildings have been closed to the public. Employees in certain departments performing tasks deemed essential will remain on duty. And athletic, recreation, and social gatherings have been prohibited at town parks and playing fields. So that is from the town of East Hampton as of today. Yesterday, we received a press release from the village of East Hampton that said there is a senior male under quarantine who does have COVID-19. And so the village officials have continued to monitor the situation, urges residents and visitors to practice social distancing. The one thing that is very important from this is that the meeting this Friday, their village board meeting at 11 a.m. at the Village Emergency Services is going to be still on, but it's going to be closed to the public.
Right.
LTV will be there filming it, and it will be live, but
Sure.
we will not be able to, and we'll, play it afterwards, but town people can't go to it.
Cool. Let me touch on a couple of things that our State Assemblyman Fred Thiel had to say. He was questioned about some of the things that are going on. And he was asked this question, which I think we all know the answer to. From your perspective, do you think we, and that means the community, the healthcare system, the government at all levels, were adequately prepared for something like the coronavirus outbreak? So what do we think the answer to that would be? And his answer was, the biggest failure has been the lack of testing capacity. We have been flying blind in assessing the breadth and location of the disease. The federal government wasn't initially prepared and has been slow to respond on testing. We are playing catch up when every day counts. There has been a lack of consistent and focused federal response. And I think that's probably the general feeling all around.
I think it probably is. I mean, because we're keeping this with the facts, I think that one of the facts that we do know is that anyone who is tested has to be super sick.
Right.
So one of the facts that we know is that me, for instance, if I have a runny nose, which I do not, but say that I do, but I don't have a fever, I might not be tested, but I could be a carrier. That's when I think of the most that he's touching on is that we don't know. Right.
And I think that's one of the biggest things. I mean, this obviously there's no playbook for this.
There's no playbook.
There's we're doing guidelines as we go. The changes daily, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about is the fact that yesterday when we started this, we started giving out numbers. I think it's irrelevant almost at this point because by the time I get finished with this sentence,
right,
the numbers change. So
right.
Anybody who needs to know them can go to the Center for Disease Control or
it's health.ny.gov. It has really good up-to-date statistics. What I will say is that out of New York State, we are number 4 in terms of cases that are reported.
In Suffolk County.
In Suffolk County,
right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's number 4 or 5.
Right.
But that's a pretty big deal because we are populated, but it's also out here, especially, we're not that populous.
Right. And
in the winter, we weren't until the other day.
Right. They came out in hordes. But Mr. Thiel said that he felt that the hospitals, the local hospitals, have the necessary resources besides the testing kits and things like that. But I'm not sure what that actually means, because there's no vaccine, there's no treatment, it's not curable yet. So I'm not sure what you're going to get if you were in the hospital. I guess it's.
I think you get a ventilator if you're really sick and
right,
things like that.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting, folks, moving forward. So obviously more to follow on that. One of the things so many things have been impacted with this, and every single day something else comes out. And one of the things that hit me today in the news that I thought I hadn't given any thought to was addiction, people that are addicted, and the fact that the way that they deal with addiction is through a social setting, right? They go into the meetings, and it's a very social thing. Do you have any information on that, Morgan, in terms of what resources they might be able to reach out to for that?
One of the things with the AA, NA, et cetera, I think probably within their communities, people can figure out what's going to happen with meetings. I did call around today, and I only was able to talk to Mother Leandra at St. Luke's. And she said that for the time being, St. Luke's is staying open for the AA meeting only.
Right.
So and that is a decision they made as a ministry to the public, which I personally think is amazing. I think it does strain their resources because they have to clean extra. They have to do a bunch of other things. The meetings have moved to a bigger room so that there can be social distancing.
Okay.
But it is such, and when I saw that, I saw the same thing you did this morning, and I thought, oh my gosh, here's a population that I hadn't thought about.
Right.
That's what's, I think, so interesting about this instant in history, is that we are seeing how interconnected every single thing is. And if one thing falls over, a gazillion other things fall out of the way, and as well.
Right.
And that was one of them, where I was like, oh wow, so we have to close down, and now addicts who may be new in recovery or may need that, especially now, are unable to go to meetings. But I do think you had some information about ways that people could access meetings, right?
I did, yep. And a lot of it is online, obviously. And if I had it at my fingertips.
But there were resources that.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of virtual AA meetings, and there are recovery chat rooms online, and different things like that. There's a particular doctor, Dr. Roy, who was interviewed here, and was saying that social distancing, the primary preventative measure advised, poses unique problems for people experiencing substance abuse disorders and attempting to achieve or maintain long-term recovery. Common saying in this community is that the opposite of addiction isn't sobriety, it's connection. So now that's working kind of against what everything that's happening right now. So she says this is a especially challenging time for people with substance abuse disorders, and since an important part of recovery is social support, we feel we need to find other ways to do that. Now, that kind of leads me to something else, and I'm just amazed daily how amazingly resilient we've become in such a very short period of time. I mean, there's so much going on. We often talk about how people resist change, right? It's pretty normal to resist change. But I'm seeing the opposite kind of happen right now. I know that you were talking to me this morning about all the different things that the restaurants are doing, for example, right? So everybody is just kind of going with the flow out of necessity, obviously, but you can look at it two different ways. You can look at it as it being necessity, or you can look at it as being pushed into opportunity, which I think a lot of people are. Why don't you give us a little update on the restaurants?
Well, that makes me think, though, also of how this whole situation, while it's unfolding, everybody has to understand that nobody has a playbook.
Right.
And so we're all struggling to figure out what's going on. The schools are trying to figure out how they're going to do this. All the teachers are trying to figure out how to do this. And it reminds me of when I first started learning improv, and they say you just have to say yes to everything,
right,
and then move on. Even, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. And that's what I feel like we're doing here. We were just talking a week ago, we thought we were going to be doing East End Underground on Friday, and now everything has changed.
Completely.
One of the things that's changed, and I think this is fantastic, is that for people, the restaurants around town have all stepped up. Bess Ratcher did a story in the East Hampton Star that outlines the restaurants that she knows about or who contacted her that are now doing curbside or delivery or pickup, which normally don't. And at the end, we'll have a list of those restaurants. That is by no means exhaustive, but it is a chance for people to maybe call these places, and if they can't get anything at the grocery stores, which we'll also talk about.
Yeah, right. But that leads me to another point as well. Is that that's just one example.
Right.
And folks out there, if you have something else that you really think that we need to bring to the local community's attention, please send me an email at michaelclark@ltveh.org. We'd be glad to bring it out. There's so many groups out there that are just bonding together and saying, we'll help. What can I do for Meals on Wheels? What can I do for this? And it's really bringing out, I'm jazzed about it. It's amazing what this community is starting to do, and it's only just begun, I think.
And there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah.
Because it's going to start when we don't know about what's going on with the food necessarily at the local grocery stores, and maybe people who can't get out and get things. So we're open to suggestions and what's going to happen.
And oh my God, the toilet paper.
Oh my gosh.
What do we do
I had
about?
to borrow toilet paper not borrow, obviously, but
Okay.
get toilet
Hey,
paper from a
whatever.
friend of mine today. But that's what you need. No hoarding,
Okay.
just friends.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure you're not the only one that's in that,
No,
that
I am
particular
not, no.
situation. But so I think what we would like to focus on. People might be taking a look at the show, saying, "Oh, look at these guys cracking up, right, and laughing," but I think it's part of the process, right? We need to deal, and we can't be looking at this as victims moving forward. We got to be looking at this. This is it. This put political differences aside. Work together, because if we come together, as people, nothing's going to beat us. We can beat this and have done similar things in the past, and I'm confident that that's going to happen. So what I would request is for anybody that's watching, or pass the word on, send us some videos. Send us something.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, isolation videos.
Isolation videos.
Send us some funny things. We'll put them on the air. We'll get it out there. Find something to do. What are you doing with the kids? Give us some ideas. We will share that. We want to be that portal for everybody, where people can come in and get some new ideas and say, "Oh, I didn't even think about that," or just any kind of new program or anything that's happening.
And we're also working with a skeleton crew and at home and everything, so be patient as well with us.
Yeah.
But I wanted to announce really quickly some amazing things, like you were just saying. Part of what people were concerned about with the schools closing is kids not having enough food. So what our school district has done, and you need to check this with your own school district, but for students who who qualify for free and reduced meals, as of tomorrow, March 18th, Wednesday, meals will be distributed at the high school using a grab-and-go process. And the email describes what you will need to do. The last name, the distribution schedule is as follows, which you're going to need to look up because you won't remember this, but it's going to go through last names so that you know when to go. On the first day, tomorrow, they're going to serve lunch only. And starting Thursday, you can pick up one at a time only and receive both breakfast and lunch. The other thing that is, I think, an amazing change, and Stop and Shop, which is based in Massachusetts, has done that, is that all locations starting Thursday, March 19th, will have special hours starting from 6 a.m. to 7:30 for ages 60 and above to shop. And the reason they're doing it at 6 o'clock is, first of all, that the place will be completely clean then, because it's been overnight.
Right.
So they're going to start with 60 people, which are right now we think is the most sensitive population.
That's what time we get up anyway.
That's what time you get up anyway, so I hear. So what they're asking, Stop and Shop, and East Hampton is doing this, is that customers that do not fall in this age bracket, please be respectful of these early hours and do your shopping at other times. I think that's an amazing example. The other thing that has happened is that yesterday on the show, I talked about the visiting hours at Stony Brook, Southampton. They have changed as of today. As of today, 3:17, this is from Stony Brook, no visitors will be admitted to the emergency department, and effective tomorrow, visitors will not be permitted in the hospital. The exceptions are pediatrics, 2 parents or legal guardians are allowed, labor and delivery, postpartum, 1 spouse partner is allowed, end of life determined by a case-to-case basis, and any patient that requires special needs. But I think that's really important to know that if you go to the emergency room, your friend won't probably be able to come in with you. And this is to protect all the patients that are there.
That's great. And thank you for all the great information. I'm getting the high sign from the one other person that's working here today.
Jason Nauer.
Right. And I just wanted to close with this. I read this today. I thought this was pretty appropriate. It says, viruses are contagious, as is panic, fear, and hysteria. You know what else is contagious? Calm, love, enthusiasm, kindness, and joy. So send us those good stories, get some information to us, tell us what's happening in the community. We'll be sure to share it with everybody. And please join us tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Thanks so much.